Hey Matadors, welcome back. This is a continuation of the review for Big Ideas Math Chapter 8 mock test. This is item number 13. Let's go ahead and read it together, develop our plan of attack, and then we'll go ahead and solve. So item number 13, a sphere and a right cylinder. And they just call it a right cylinder. To you, it's just a regular cylinder. In other words, the cylinder is not leaning in either direction. It's going straight up and down. And that's mainly what we've been dealing with in Chapter 8 for Big Ideas Math anyway. So don't let it confuse you. So the sphere and a right cylinder have the what? The same, this is key, the same radius and volume. So they share a radius and they share a volume. So if you were to fill up the sphere with water, you can pour it into the cylinder and it would fill it up exactly to the brim because they share the same volume. Okay. The cylinder has a height of 6 centimeters. So this is another important detail. The cylinder has a height of 6 centimeters and you're asked to find the radius. So finding the radius of both shapes is what we're trying to do here. First things first, remember you're going to want to write down the formula for volume. Since we're dealing with volume for each shape, the formula for volume of a sphere is in yellow. It is 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. That's here. The formula for volume of a cylinder is here. Pi r squared times h. Now let's go ahead and substitute in the stuff that we know from the reading. The only detail that we really have to sub in here is the height of the cylinder. We know it to be 6 centimeters. So in my drawing here, I'm going to include 6 centimeters. In my formula for volume of a cylinder, I'm also going to include 6 centimeters for its height. So in my next line, my volume is going to be pi times radius squared, but this is the one new part. Right, the height is 6 centimeters. And I'm going to actually take out the centimeters at 6 to make it a little easier. In yellow, we haven't changed anything, right? It's still 4/3. It's still times pi, and it's still radius cubed. So now from here, let's take into account that in the reading, it says that they shared a radius and a volume. So that means we're going to set both volumes equal to one another. So let me rewrite out in yellow again. Without including the volume, I'm just going to write 4/3 times pi times radius cubed, and I'm going to set it equal to, instead of including the v here for volume of a cylinder, I'm just going to write out the remaining part of the equation. Pi times radius squared times our key ingredient here, the height of 6. Now let's take a look at our equation here and identify something that they have in common that we can easily get rid of. Pi. Something else that they have in common that we can easily simplify is this r here. Now they're both being multiplied with, so if we want to get rid of one of them, we have to divide. So let's divide by the smaller one, r squared. R squared. That gets rid of my r on that side. And let's go ahead and take a refresher from something that we learned way back in September-ish, where we have how many r's on top there? Well, r cubed is equal to what? R times r times r, every pirate's dream. Just kidding, a little quarantine humor. And now we can cancel out what they have in common, right? 2 r's. So 1 r is left. So when we rewrite our equation with what's left over, we have 4/3, that hasn't changed, right? We have 1 r left, so times r. And it's going to equal, well, now on the right-hand side, all we have is that 6. And if I want to figure out the radius, the next thing that I want to get rid of is that 4/3. So how can I divide by a fraction? Well, it's simple, right? You just multiply by, and you probably all said it out loud, it's reciprocal. This will allow me to cancel out that here, and I could actually do my multiplication here by multiplying by 3/4. This 6 is over 1, and now I can do my multiplication. What is 6 times 3? Well, it's 18. And 18/4 is going to be our answer for the radius. But let's go ahead and simplify that. So my radius, sorry, it's in yellow. Actually, we're going to do it in white. My radius is 18/4. And I can simplify by dividing 18 by 4. 4 can go into 18 4 times, right? With 2 remaining over 4. And we can reduce this down to just 1/2. So the radius of both the sphere and the cylinder is 4 1/2.